The following podcast contains mature language and adult discussion.
Down here. Getting set. Caught me getting ready. Getting ready for the bunkhouse stampede.
What?
Getting ready for the bunkhouse stampede. I'm coming in my cowboy boots. Motherfucker.
Hold on a second. I'm looking at your email right here. It says, I thought we were talking about Bunkhouse Buck.
Bunkhouse Buck of WCW fame?
Yes. I thought we were talking about Buckhouse. I've got all my notes about when he came back as Swagger's dad, and yeah.
Him?
Yeah, Bunkhouse Buck. I thought that's where we were going tonight.
Well, I guess we could. I mean,
God, do I feel like a cock.
Have you been thinking that all these weeks? When we were, we taping fists and I had gigs ready and everything.
Well, I mean, this guy came in and got a push beyond me. I thought fucking that was the whole thing. This Bunkhouse Buck.
He should never been broken in. That guy.
I've heard a couple things about him in a hot tub.
Go bring Bunkhouse Buck back up for a minute here. I just need to see some stats. I need to see when he debuted. I don't even remember him, to be honest with you.
I was there. I think that was one of Watts' hires. Here he comes. Let's see here. When did he join the WCW?
And worked as late as 2010?
He started in 69?
He's still alive? I want to call him.
Go back. We go up a little bit. Down. 1994, Golden followed Fuller to World Championship Wrestling. They were managed by Colonel Robert Parker, and he was Buckhouse Buck. Buck,
yeah.
Feuded amazingly with Dustin Rhodes, and teamed with Dick Slater, who was the legitimate badass. Dick Slater. Nobody fucked with Dick Slater.
Well, there you go. Yeah, anyone out there get schooled on little Bunkhouse Buck.
Fuck, I feel like an asshole. I'm sorry.
No, it's all right. We'll work it out. It's Monday. We're back with Kliq This, Kevin Nash podcast. And you guys have been giving us great feedback, of course. Chris Parker, listening to Kevin talking about washing the towel for the cleaner made me think of my mom. She hired a cleaner and didn't want the cleaner to think she was dirty, so she cleaned the house before the cleaner came every week.
My wife does that. It's like every time before, it's like, oh, by the way, tomorrow the cleaning crew's coming. Like, me and my son look at each other like, so we got to pick up the whole fucking house.
Right.
Because God forbid if the fucking people that clean your house actually, hey, how do you run your fucking brain on your TV? Aren't you supposed to be cleaning? There's nothing to clean.
Yeah.
You motherfuckers did it.
Angie. Now this has been one of my favorite episodes thus far. The Pina Colada story. Big fan of the Pina Colada story. It's when, of course, when you got Triple H a little buzzed on the Pina Colada. The teetotaling Triple H. Shane Parsig. I love the painting behind you. At first glance, it reminds me of Coco Beware's bird Frankie being blown up. I see that. I feel it.
It's funny that the more that I've been, like, is my background, I look at it, the blue feels a lot like the coastal waters in Czechoslovakia.
Which is probably what she was going with. What was her name?
My girl?
Yeah, she was probably going to capture the more scenic, beautiful. And then we get the text like, well, there is a port city. There's your certificate from Renata. The port cities. It's reminiscent of the port cities,
Right.
in case anyone's wondering.
I always call them coastal, but, you know.
Vince 22, the analysis of Ric Flair's last match and Sean's comparison to Sinatra's duets was perfection. The Kliq This podcast became the best podcast quickly. I agree with you on all counts. Art Minus Me, looking forward to hearing some awesome music stylings from Nash, covering Motorhead on the pod for the Triple H theme. Also, it might need a 2-part episode for the Bunkhouse Stampede. Well, you'll get Bunkhouse Buck and then the Bunkhouse Stampede instead of your 2 episodes. How's that? They're putting you over for your musical stylings when you unleashed some vocals on us. Was that last week?
Yeah, it's I've got several albums out. I did one with where I actually Garth Brooks used an alias, but I actually did all the vocals for him.
Your sales could be right up there with Shatner's gimmick from the 70s, from the Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. It's brilliant. Shatner's still going. 90 what? 90?
At least 90, I know that. Last time I saw him, he was 90.
Ryan from the gym. This week sucked ass. Going to drink Kevin Nash's favorite wine, Orange Swift Papillon, and watch Diesel versus Bret Hart at Survivor Series 1995 on repeat until I can recite the match back. Then I'll move on to the Bunkhouse Stampede. More than one person, by the way, did take photos of their bottle of Papillon.
Nice.
And post it this week. So
very nice.
Either you drove some sales or they were already fans. Who knows? John Marati loved the Bam Bam story, plus describing the old Arco Arena in Sacramento. I've been there many times. I could picture everything he was describing. Yeah,
I actually read a couple of comments, and people are like, huh, awfully fucking convenient that both the other guys in the story are no longer with us. Motherfucker, if that was the case, you couldn't tell a story from 80 to 2005.
With the wrestler deaths, yeah.
Right. It's like, I'm sorry. You know what? Sean Waltman knows the fucking story, so ask him. I won't fucking say a word. I'm sure he's not listening to my podcast.
And if you can find those gangbangers that were at the Quick Check or the Mighty Mart.
I don't even. They didn't gangbang us. I mean, you know. So I mean, I think they were just some disrespected locals.
Oh. Gotcha.
It just happened to happen. And I said to that, an automatic pistol. I'm sorry, man. I didn't get a chance to fucking ask him if it was a SIG Browning 380. I don't know.
It was black.
Yeah, it didn't have a fucking cylinder holding round. So I guess in my mind, I just presumed, you know, the guy had a German Luger. It was part of the Fourth Reich.
Well, people want you to be very specific, to hang on to your every word.
And as I've said before, fucking please let me teabag you.
Yeah.
Now, that's how much more specific in that. I'll even fucking I'll do like aromatherapy while I do it. Like I'll put a little fucking lavender on my taint. So when you lay back and you get the teabag, you fucking feel all fucking comfortable and fucking relaxed. That lavender fucking aromatherapy on my taint while you take a couple of salty fucking hard-boiled eggs down your gullet.
How's that for details? You know, I was
Not that I've ever done that before.
I was submitting the merch list, and I thought about the coffee mug. Instead of just having a show logo on the coffee mug, maybe call it insert tea bag here, and it could be you. But now, what self-respecting guy is going to drink out of that? Nobody. How to kill it? It's just not going to work. It wouldn't sell.
You buy it for your wife.
Oh, right.
Come on, man. What guy doesn't want to come home and see big sexy teabag and his wife?
Teabag and his broad.
Yeah, come on.
We did have a lot of people respond to our discussion about live shows. And so people were suggesting cities and venues. Like James Grunberg, who said the Mohegan Sun in Connecticut. It's a big house to fill. Unless maybe there's like a smaller club in there, comedy club or something in there, maybe. A smaller stage, if you will. Brad, says, as another listener from Wilkes-Barre, I think a live Kliq This here would be a must-go. Well, we mentioned that last week. Matt Reichel would love a live Kliq This at Jimmy's Seafood.
One of my favorites.
Really?
Yeah, we get every
Lean right up to that mic and tell me about Jimmy's Seafood.
Every fucking Christmas, we get Jimmy's crab cakes, and we have crab cakes for breakfast, crab cakes for lunch, crab cakes for dinner. So Christmas is fucking Jimmy's famous crab cakes.
Get some crabs this holiday season. But is it a venue for? Is there a stage?
No.
All right.
But I think there might be a I've never been, but I think there might be an like a deck or something. There might there might be a deck there. I don't know.
The Jimmy's people liked the tweet from this fan. So if
they're my boys, we're all friends.
Reach out.
Yeah.
Reach out.
It's a great picture of me and Scott and Jimmy's.
Reach out. We'll do it. Says it's a Roy Camp, located 40 to 50 miles from Delaware, Atlantic City, and Philly. For casinos, local for bars, 4 bars, 3 mile range, 3 of which usually has very good looking staff and patrons, and that's Levoy Theater in Millville, New Jersey. So reach out, guys.
Levo got that money.
If our people call your people.
Yep.
You know, a place that we probably won't be playing anytime soon is in Vatican City at the Sistine Chapel.
No, we're not.
Because you have to cover your knees. You have to cover your knees and your shoulders. I'm preparing to go to Italy, and for that part of it in the Sistine Chapel, your shoulders and knees must be covered, and you wear shorts all the time.
And your navel. You have to cover your navel.
Yeah, let's talk about this. If anyone remembers I think it was on the edition of Breaking Kayfabe, the Kayfabe Commentaries series, Kevin was pondering a question. I think he was talking with his son, and he brought it up on air. He said, why is Adam portrayed with a navel? I'd never heard that before, but I never forgot it. And I brought it up many times, crediting no one but myself. And if we have an image, if we can bring it up, it's, of course, the center of the work on the Sistine Chapel. And there's
Too soft.
Adam. Yeah, clearly rocking the too soft.
Yeah, but if it was immaculate, then he wouldn't have a
right. He wasn't birthed.
Yeah, he wasn't. I mean, he was born in and then on top of that, so as it goes on, so that dude right there took his rib and made Eve,
yes, as the story goes.
Which absolutely, there's no way that they would have any differential in their DNA. And then they would have to populate the entire planet, and there would be no variations of DNA, therefore that everybody would, in this case, be Caucasian.
Kevin, are you saying the Bible's a work of fiction?
I'm just saying, how can you write about something that there was nobody there? On the first day. On the first day, what? Who got that info?
It was a great way to control society, though. One book.
Yeah.
Makes
bunch of motherfuckers.
behave.
Yeah. So all the fucking morons that can't fucking read can sit outside the fucking, with the wall of the castle and be fed breadcrumbs.
Right. Well, people still, misuse it and can't read it and misinterpret it like crazy today.
Here's another one of my favorites.
Go ahead.
Fucking they brought in the fucking animals 2 by 2 onto this fucking giant boat.
Noah, yes.
Okay, so for 40 days and 40 nights it fucking rains. So for 40 days and 40 nights, motherfucking tigers that eat zebras like motherfuckers and all this shit, and actually the lions would eat the zebras. But I'm just saying, like, how did I'm thinking some species might not have made it. I'm just saying. Like
I'm
me,
sure.
I'm on a new diet. I'm on a new diet because I'm eating shrimp, like all seafood. Because I'm eating what whales eat.
Why is this a result of the stomach issues you had last week? I mean, you had an
No,
explosive asshole last week.
Because whales are super strong.
Oh,
And if you listen to DeLee and his crew, that's like, I mean, sorry, strong guy, but I'm a little bit stronger than you because I'm eating like a whale.
good. While we have Jesus, while we have God Himself on the screen, can we address the now the brain? That's the cross section brain, right?
Yes.
God on the brain. Now, if you look into the inner workings of the brain, at first glance, you might think it's kind of the grooves of the brain, but they are they're cherubs, I guess, right? Angels, holding God, groping God. What do you think's going on there?
What was that? Devil's Advocate. What was that movie with Pacino?
Pacino, where they decided that he didn't scream enough as the blind army colonel in Scent of a
this is
Woman,
when
so
he
they
was
made him. So they made him the devil now.
Yeah, he was the devil. He was
Yeah.
he was the advocate, right? Devil's advocate with.
Yeah.
With
He was an
Keanu,
attorney.
I thought Keanu Reeves absolutely just a stellar fucking Southern accent throughout that.
Yeah, Keanu.
Did I just fuck
Taught
up?
us a few things about-
I'm not getting John Wick 5, am I?
John.
Fuck.
Well, I don't know. Was the phone ringing for that? I don't know.
Yeah. I'm on speed dial.
So yeah. Okay. So go ahead. So please, the Pacino.
If I look just if I'm like this right now, go back to double shot. Hello, Mr. Vic. There we go. Still got it. I was just bringing back Francis for a second there.
Francis was
Are you
Kevin's
working?
character
Are
from
you
the-
working, Mr. Vic? Sorry, Francis. I'm inside you. I'm
But
sorry.
what is the commentary here that Jesus in the God in the mind?
God exists in the God exists in the mind of man.
Right. Reaching out. It seems that all the effort is on God's part there. Do we see that? The hand, the
Reaching out, touching me, touching you.
I never realized Sweet Caroline was about the creation scene in the Sistine Chapel.
Now, is this like a fucking rib? Like
Adam's rib.
Did they paint it? And he just said, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna fucking put this up there."
Well, he's on his back. It's financed already. He's on his back for working for however many years. Who's gonna complain?
Yeah,
it's God.
I'm just saying though, as the years went by, somebody went like, if I was like, one of the popes, Pope Kev, I would have said like, "Hey, maybe go up there with the fucking roller and hit that navel a couple of times there, punkin."
Yeah, I'm telling you, no one looked up and paused. They went,
Not even the navel either. It's like fucking like on that ceiling. It's the size of the Grand Canyon. Yeah, it's gigantic.
Yes,
unbelievable.
Are you a friend? I read somewhere, and I never brought this up, and I keep meaning to every week. It seems to fall to the wayside as we prepare for the Bunkhouse Stampede. Are you a big Friends fan?
No.
I don't know where I saw this, that you and another wrestler were talking Friends, the TV series. But anyway.
I think it was, I think it's a good TV show.
I read that you were a mark for it. So
no, I don't know if I could, I don't even know if I could tell you what, let me think. I know there's Chandler.
Yeah.
There's, I don't even know what, Ross,
very
Joey,
good. Very good.
Then Rachel,
yes,
Phoebe, and Monica.
Okay, so hand the man card over immediately, please. That was in one shot. You got every character. No denying. Friends was a good show for what it was at the time. It was well written characters. Once they got fleshed out, great, unique characters. Everyone's got a little one of each of those characters.
I want to say something to each and every one of those characters, but I'm going to do it as Anthony Hopkins in Legends of the Fall after he had his stroke. Okay?
Okay.
That's when Brad Pitt comes back and they decide to have a drink. And he's going to have, they're going to start the bootlegging, which will eventually cause Brad Pitt, his wife, by an errant machine gun fire, or actually Tommy gun. I would want to be corrected by the
it will
NRA.
happen, so get it right.
Yeah.
This
With a varmint round.
There's a varmint round. There's no limit to your impressions, by the way. Anyone?
I go deep. You know,
it's good. And if we could add like a handicap to each week, because I see that's the direction we're heading now. We had the stroke this week. We'll see next week if we maybe Terry Fox with.
Well,
the leg.
we brought up Billy Squier and talked about the stroke, which put me on that whole thing. Sooner or later, there's got to be a payoff to that fucking Billy Squier thing. So that was it. That was the stroke right there.
Somebody suggested an even more troubling dance by a rock legend would maybe be to bring up silently, but just watch the Mick Jagger and David Bowie duet of Dancing in the Street. I guess there's some interesting dancing in the street with those two. But the reason I brought up Friends was I saw a news item that Marta Kaufman, the creator of the show, one of the creators of the show, after pledging a $4 million donation to Brandeis University over her guilt about the lack of racial diversity on the show, she then went on to say that she made a mistake in now Chandler's father, brilliantly played by Kathleen Turner with the deep voice, because the father is in a drag show. But now she said it was a mistake to refer to the transgender character as the father. But that was the father. He was in a drag show. I'm getting very confused. I have a lot of discussions with my 16-year-old daughter who thinks that I'm a barbarian for not understanding a lot of the pronoun gender. I'm trying, but she doesn't understand when you're 49, you lived a little differently prior to this time. And so Mia and I have passionate discussions about this. Now, if it's a man, if it's a man, can I say man? If it's a male, born a male, fathers a child, but it dresses as a woman. It used to be called cross-dressing. I think that's now no longer acceptable, but dresses as a woman in a drag show. Is this not still the father?
They would prefer to be called they or them.
Even if they're not. I thought it was that he was in the drag show. I didn't know that he was. Okay, so even if he's identifying and we call him them, because he planted the sperm, isn't he still the father? She says in this article it's a mistake to refer to the father as father, but it was the father. He was the father.
Right. He
fathered the child.
Let's go. I think we're better off going back to the fucking navel.
Yeah, I'm exhausted. Why? You think this is going to be too controversial?
No, I don't know. It's just what is Caitlyn Jenner?
Well, that's the full Monty now. Now she
Right.
has committed to the
Right.
Listen, when you get out the meat cleaver and you switch it up down there and put and change the parts. I mean, it's undeniably you would have to call her a she at that point. But I'm just saying, if Bob Nash decided he was going to start a drag show and go in a dress, there's a visual for you, and wear a dress, he's still your father because he was the father of the baby Kevin. Am I wrong? I'm insensitive.
I mean,
I'm canceled.
I would still consider him my father. Unless he sat me
Right.
down and he wanted me and he preferred me to address him in another fashion that he felt more comfortable with, then I would do that.
Yeah. But father's more than just the sociological raising of the kid. It is dropping the sperm in there. But I have to
Right.
rewatch the show. Maybe maybe he wasn't. Maybe he didn't inseminate the mother. I don't. I have to.
Yeah, I think that what she's trying to do is she's trying to back out of a fucking poorly written, very confusing fucking character.
I guess
That's what she's doing. I mean, and it didn't stand the test of time. Therefore, now she's coming back and trying to cover her tracks. And I say, shame on you. What I actually say is,
I see it. That has been isolated and made a GIF and a meme already, and it's for sale somewhere.
Yeah.
An NFT, perhaps. How's that going? How are your NFTs going? You good?
I just spent fucking $3 million on some of the metaverse because I was told that it was not infinite, that it would be fucking restricted.
Dropped a few mil on a fucking block animated monkey head wearing a hat. Jesus Christmas.
Looks like fucking Bob Denver.
I'm making myself more irrelevant every week. I understand less and less. This is what getting old is, right? You complain about everything. You have a hard time with everything.
When you grow up, and to Leave It to Beaver and My Three Sons, I'm sorry, man. Like, that's a fucking... I'm not going to grab a Frisbee and go play fucking golf in the fucking park. I'm sorry. It's not going to do it.
You know, I'm glad I'm not Salman Rushdie this week because I remembered the hubbub over the Satanic Verses when it first came out, and you know the threats on his life, and it was like national news. I think I want to say 88 or 89 the book was published, and
I think it was 89,
and it all kind of went away. It was just forgotten.
Well, the Ayatollah died.
Yeah, but I mean, there were still, there were religious ramifications in the Muslim community for a lot of what he wrote. Now, it was a novel, and the power of the written word is massive. It's the nuclear weapon in society today. The world is littered with people's opinions,
right?
But a book, for some reason, the bound book is like validity. It's louder. And he was, if I'm sure everyone is aware, he was attacked viciously, stabbed, the eye, the neck.
Why do you think everybody fucking listens to those audio books? They don't want the fucking heat, man. You walk into somebody's house and you see the fucking, the edge.
See it on the shelf?
Yeah. Hey, what the fuck? But, and the thing is, too, on top of that, though, man, it's just like, what's really fucked up about our culture is we because we're Americans, like, our way is the right way. And because God forbid, the Muslim religion at its maybe harshest or most strictly adhered to is incomprehensible to us. Yet that's their belief, and if you're going to venture into that and think that you're not going to upset somebody, people will be upset over the fact that we questioned the validity of the Sistine Chapel painting, but we're not saying anything more than how the fuck if the Vatican is basically the Mecca of of Christianity, how does that go, untouched,
unchecked? Yeah.
I mean, which makes me just think, like, maybe if you guys would fucking stop fucking paying attention to the little fucking boys and maybe fucking, looked up above you every once in a while.
Well, if we didn't get him with the Sistine Chapel, Kev, we just got him there, didn't
what? We? Are we on?
This thing on?
Hello?
I couldn't
Friends?
Had he relaxed security to such a... Now, I know they said there was a state trooper present, that the venue...
shit. I mean, you get stabbed 12 times before somebody gets there. Jeez. I mean,
I would go with armed guards everywhere I went. If an entire religion,
I don't think she
put
got
a hit out on me.
I don't think she got stabbed 12 times in the bathtub in Psycho. Fuck.
Yeah, it was brutal. It was brutal. I hope. Well, it seems he's recovering, which is
yeah,
which is a good
at
thing.
the cost of an eye, which is, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You know how fucked up it is. Like, if somebody, have you ever shake somebody's hand and they're missing like one digit?
Yeah, and then you realize when it's too late. You can't
Yeah, and it's just
scream.
like, then it's like they become part of your family, and every time they want to fucking say goodbye, they want to shake your fucking hand. You're like, oh, jeez. Like, what's worse, the fucking missing digit, the fucking Yakuzai fucking uncle, or the grandma fucking with the goatee?
Yeah.
The grandma with the goatee, because those are fucking that really wiry, you know, they like just a couple, like maybe 6 hairs, but like each one of them's like, it's like fucking a copper fucking, you know.
Yeah, and you'd have to get a kiss from grandma when you were leaving the house, right?
Yeah.
She'd rub that Brillo up against your face. Her chin, not her cunt. Listen. I popped Tristan. That's all I wanted to do today. Make sure he's over there.
Oh yeah. Well, we've definitely fucking went off the deep end this week.
If more people had active, healthy, wonderful sex lives with massive erections that Bluechew could deliver us, we would have so much less strife. We would focus a lot less on our differences. And the stiff one of the week is brought to us by Bluechew yet again. Guys, confidence is what it's all about. You need confidence in the workplace. You need confidence in the bedroom. When it comes time to step up to the plate, it's great to not have to worry about that. And that extra level of insurance is what Bluechew's all about. Bluechew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but in chewable tablets and at a fraction of the cost. Take them anytime, day or night. You're out on a date, slip one in your, keep it in your pocket, pop it in, chew it, and you're ready to rock in a short time. Plan ahead. Be ready whenever the opportunity arises. The process is simple. Go to bluechew.com. You're going to consult with one of their licensed medical providers. And then once you're approved, you receive your prescription within days. Best part, you're doing it all online. No sitting in the doctor's office. No talking about it. No fucking around at the pharmacy. You're going to get it in the mail. They're made in the USA. They're prepared, shipped direct to your door. This isn't some, website connected to some other country getting you the cheap gimmicks. Made here. Same ingredients as Viagra and Cialis. So, listen, if you can benefit from some extra confidence, this is what we're going to do. Kevin has arranged for you to get your first ones free. Okay, you just have to go to bluechew.com and you're going to type the promo code NASH at checkout. Pay $5 for shipping, and then you're going to be ready to rock in days. The postman arrives with your package for your package. Bluechew.com, promo code NASH. Receive your first month free. Visit bluechew.com for more details, important safety information, and we thank them for being a sponsor of this exciting segment every week.
I got a question for you.
Let's go.
Like, there's different degrees of getting wood, right? There's getting a hard on, but then there's I call it the fucking sitar, where your cock actually looks like an Arabian.
George Harrison strokes it.
That fucking the isn't that what it's called? The fucking with the Arabian fucking the fucking knife that looks kind of like a sickle. What is that called?
No, the sitar is an instrument. You're talking about a
what is the name of that?
A saber, a scythe, a scythe. No, scythe is what the
scimitar. It's a scimitar, right?
Okay,
it's a scimitar. Anyway, so you get a scimitar.
It's in your pants. I don't know.
You get a scimitar erection, and you're holding it in your hand like this, right? And you fucking take your finger and you dab the fucking urethra, and you get that fucking string, right? So you're getting that fucking string.
The Halloween cobwebs?
Yeah. So what is that? Is that just seminal fluid, right?
Yeah, the pre-cum, I think it would be referred to as.
Right. But can that get you pregnant?
If I remember
the
correctly.
The answer is no, because you're a dude.
Very good. I'm hosting the show with Milton Berle this week.
Foster Brooks.
This week's stiff one, Kevin, takes us to Hannity and Combs. Do you remember being on this show?
Oh, what a fucking these
Chris Benoit.
These motherfuckers. They put me behind a fucking barbecue shack on Atlantic Avenue with a monitor smaller than I'm looking at right now, and I couldn't see anything. It was, you talking about bushwhacked?
Yeah, she gets a little cunty with you at the end.
Because I wouldn't.
She wanted you to attribute the murder to steroids.
Right. Yeah,
and anything less than that, they weren't going to accept that. You were saying, we have to wait for toxicology. I've done steroids. I've never murdered anyone, but they were not having that. They wanted to get their results. So here's a clip from the Hannity and Combs show with Kev regarding the Chris Benoit.
If I'm not mistaken, neither one of them are there. And I got some fucking ham and egger that spent all day at fucking makeup and didn't do any research.
No, you're right. It wasn't Sean Hannity. It was replacements, but
he was hanging out with a pillow guy way before his time.
Let me ask you a basic question about the industry. Do you think that wrestling is a legitimate sport along the lines of baseball?
Absolutely not. It's entertainment.
So there should, so because the baseball players have had to go before and testify before Congress, do you think that wrestling, the wrestling pros, and that the association should be required to testify before Congress if there's some sort of legislation that they bring up, that you're any sort of example to these high school and college kids who are out there? Do you have any responsibility to actually follow the law, or should we just let your industry off the hook because you're, as you call it, merely entertainment?
No, I think that if you break the law, you break the law. It doesn't matter where you are. The thing is there's no toxology. The toxology has not came out yet. All this is speculation. There were steroids found in the house, yes. But until Chris's levels come back, along with everything else, I just think it's so sexy and it's such a media craze that steroids were involved. You know what? Until this comes back and it's shown that his levels are above 4 to 1, then I think.
And what if they are shown above 4 to 1? I mean, as you sit here and deny that you've ever seen any sort of kind of roid rage, which also seems to kind of stretch credibility. But what if, in fact, that it does come back?
Have you ever taken steroids?
That it was because of steroids. Then
I'm asking you, have you ever taken steroids?
No, I have not taken steroids.
And she can prove it, because I don't think you get that muscular thing. Thank you very much, Kevin, for being with us.
I'm just saying, you're doubting my credibility. I've taken them, and I haven't seen it.
All right, so we thank you very much.
I know that's not what you want to hear.
Charlie Daniels coming up next.
You were followed by Charlie Daniels, in case you're wondering.
Who's a fucking juicer? I mean, that guy was... God rest his soul, but I bought my first fucking cycle of Trend from him.
That's how he rocked that fiddle so hard.
Yeah.
So
you know what they always say? I have CTE, and I was calling. I didn't say toxicology correctly. So obviously my CTE.
Toxology, right?
Yeah.
So were you contacted by them ever again? Did you go back on?
Fuck no, that bitch, man. I can't prove it, but I think she was speed diddling while I was fucking talking to her.
Well, she did have that little giggle, snarky giggle, which I think stretches your credibility a little bit.
You're kind of aggressive. Hey, let me ask you a question, sweetheart. These fucking actors, right? They fucking show up in these movies with a fucking 8-pack and fucking put on 30 pounds for a fucking role. What do you think they do? Huh? What is it? You think that's creatine, you fucking stupid bitch?
There you go.
I got one thing to say to her.
There we go. The parts are going to come flooding in if you can isolate that and put that on your reel.
If they do fucking Legends of the Fall 2, I'm in.
Jersey guy or Florida man? Here we go. 2 stories. You will tell me which you think is the Florida man and Jersey guy. Speaking of Florida man, I was watching what's that show called? It's one of the live police shows where they follow cops around all night for like 3 hours. Dan Abrams is the host. It's a cool show. It used to be called Live PD, then they took it off the air and it's back as I think On Patrol Live it's called. Anyway, so I'm in Florida and I had to run to a Dillard's. We don't have Dillard's up here. Love Dillard's. It's like Macy's used to be when it was good.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I come back, and that night I'm watching the show, and they're like, let's head down to Volusia County now. Had an armed robbery at the Volusia Mall. I was like, holy fuck. I was just there. I could have been. They didn't go in the mall. The guys had already pulled out, so they were chasing the car. But I had a Florida man brush with greatness there.
Man, that's too close for comfort.
So here it is. First headline: 2 men who stole a rock band's equipment post it on eBay and are caught.
Jersey, go ahead.
And man accused of jumping naked on neighbor's trampoline before breaking into home.
Yeah, it's Florida. Just the fact
you might be 100% on these, by the way.
Just because, yeah, it's like that's so Jersey mob. Like, wait, hey, what are we getting with some money? Hey, the fucking Scorpions got their fucking shit in that trailer over there. Hook it up. Let's get the fuck out of here.
So let's go to Dover, New Jersey. A fan's trip to Our Marvelous Lives. Members helped lead to the recovery of about half the band's stolen equipment, which was pilfered from their recording studio last December, and then apparently posted on eBay. About $22,000 worth of music equipment was stolen from the band's recording rehearsal studio on Bassett Highway. And then
my son just wants those guys to know that they're not getting their fucking jazz master back. So,
and that was it, and led to their capture. Now down to Florida. Yeah, man accused of jumping naked on the trampoline before breaking into the home. I don't know if that was in any way a preparation for the burglary or how in any way that helped. Lee Acres, Florida, wherever the hell that is. Adrian Lee Gonzalez Bradway. Needed 4 names. The 3 assassin names are not good enough for him. Charged with burglary, criminal mischief, and property damage of more than $200. According to the sheriff's office, Gonzalez Bradway showed up naked at his neighbor's home in Lehigh Acres on Tuesday afternoon and began tapping on her door. The resident asked Gonzalez Bradway if he needed assistance, but he did not respond. The television station reported 30 minutes later the woman said she saw Gonzalez Bradway jumping on her family's trampoline while still naked. When the woman saw him touching himself, she called 911. According to the sheriff's office, Gonzalez Bradway ran up to the woman's door demanding entry. When the woman refused, Gonzalez Bradway smashed her kitchen window.
Was there any seminal fluid involved in any of that?
He did the drawstring. He
got
the string going and greased the
son of a bitch
the lock to get in. It's how he picked the lock with his pencil dick.
It's a fucking paper clip and a fucking like they do in the fucking movies. Something like that.
I'm not even going to put the boot on. I'm figuring that everyone uses it to as a weapon anyway, right? To wallop someone over the head. So I think I'm just going to keep it off for the Bunkhouse Stampede segment and just
this
this
show has completely went off the rails early.
Absolutely.
And I think it's time that we need to do a complete rehaul to try to save this. How about you and I switch spots tonight?
I get to sit in front of the overhead shot of the coastal cities of Czechoslovakia?
Well, I mean, I think it's, in theory, yeah. I mean, yeah, I want you to have that. I just want you to have that vibe. Can we
do, okay, so here I am.
Hey. Hi, Sean. How are you?
Now I'm gonna have to turn this.
So,
Okay. Yes.
You know what? Enough about my crazy fucking times in the wrestling world, and let's talk a little bit about Sean Oliver. Sean, where were you born?
I was born on a planet called New Jersey. Actually, the place I was born is kind of interesting. The city's called West New York. It's not in New York, but it's as close to New York as you can get without getting your feet wet in the Hudson River. It's right on the Hudson River, right across, right just north of Hoboken. Explains my.
Do you got Do you have a view of the city?
Yeah, I grew up with. Boulevard East was the road that ran right along the cliff right there. So if you're in Manhattan, you look across, then that's what you're looking at. So
actually, the better of the views.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, it was. I grew up there, so it doesn't. I saw it every day or whatever. You know, baseball practice was down there and stuff. So it didn't mean anything to me. But now when people talk about the skyline, I see what the real estate goes for there. It wasn't a rich area at the time. There was that road that ran along there, and you got the view of Manhattan. I think developers have since gotten wise to it now, but it was about, I think at the time, 70s I'm talking about, 70s, 80s, it was mostly Cuban, probably 75%. By the time I got out of high school, it was 85% Latino, and a lot of that was an influx from Central America, South America, Ecuador, Colombia, and a lot of the Cubans had made their money and taken off.
Right.
So that was one of the first places when they came up from Cuba where they landed. It was
after they got out from underneath I-95 in Miami.
Right. After the encampments.
After the Scarface reference.
Yeah. So after the encampments were emptied in the Mariel boat lift.
So I remember. Okay, I know this is fact, whether you want to cover this or not, but we were having dinner one night after one of we did one of your shoots, and you were telling me that you worked for a bookie when you're in high school.
Yeah, my friend Timmy.
Like to go into that in depth, please.
It was I don't know how to say this without sounding weird. It was normalized because of where I grew up. We all played cards through my teenage years into college, and we started running card games, and my friend Timmy was had some action, and I was still in high school and he wasn't, so I would collect football bets. And if anyone remembers, there were these slips where you'd circle, and it always said for information purposes only, but it had every game, college, pro, with the line. You'd circle it, tear the bottom off, and give it with your money. So I had a health teacher that would give me the first 10 minutes of class. He would give his pick of the week and then allow me to take students out of the hallway to come up to my desk, and I would take the action there and turn it in. This West New York was so corrupt. I want you guys to go look for it. I think Vice just did a documentary about a kid that I grew up with, Richie Rivera, who was a police officer on the corrupt police force that was working for the Cuban mafia. And he was kind of caught in the middle. So he ended up wearing a wire for the FBI, and he went undercover. They just did a documentary about this town. His wire led to the subsequent takedown of 35 officials, from the chief of police to the county executive, politicians. And so there was one time we couldn't get a spot for the card game. It's like a guys and dolls thing. Nathan Detroit got no spot for the game. We used movie theaters. We had this Korean movie theater that let us use the place. After the last showing at midnight, they would go out. We'd set up the tables, play cards there. We couldn't get a spot. We sat on the steps. There was this alcove on the side, the police department side of City Hall. It was the detective squad. We set up on the steps, basically, of the detective squad right next to it. They'd be coming in. Hey, guys, how you doing? Coming in, coming out. The chips, money, cards right there. I mean, that was West New York at the time. It's much more clean now.
So then from there, I'm sure because you're an educated man, you probably went off to college.
I did. I wanted to study filmmaking, and that's really the only reason I went to college, was to be able to use the equipment. This is before video. I mean, video existed, but video as film didn't exist. So we were shooting on film that you'd have to develop and edit on a fucking guillotine and splice and use tape. I mean, it was the old stuff. While I was in college,
the old check the gate.
Check the gate. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Looking for a little hair, make you do the whole fucking scene again.
Absolutely.
But I needed to learn that equipment. It wasn't, the paint by numbers that video is. You had to learn lenses and film stock and how to use a light meter. And that's what I was fascinated. I was fascinated by the art of that. There is that art in knowing in your mind what you want it to look like, and knowing just by setting numbers and where your shadow spots and hot spots are on your light meter and your film stock and your film stock's sensitivity to light, knowing if you tweak the f-stop, a half a number, maybe a 2.5 or a 4, what it's going to look like. You had to have that in your head because there was no monitor. The monitor would show you the framing, but it wouldn't show you the development of the film. So you had to know that. I was fascinated by that art. So that's what I went to school for. So I did that. I was actually director of photography on an independent feature called A Clown in Babylon. To call it an art film would be generous. So that's what I did. So I went to school there. I stayed in school for 6 fucking years so that I could use the film equipment. It was wildly expensive, film equipment and processing. But if you were in school and you kept signing up for the independent study, you got to use all the equipment. So I started shooting commercials, farming myself out, and I had access to all the equipment in the school. Why would I leave school? I could do it all for free and keep all the money. So that's what I did. So I started working. I was working as an actor too, but my passion was really the behind the scenes.
Now, do we have your opening headshot by any chance?
I hope you don't have my first headshot when I was like 15.
Can we cue up his headshot? Do we have that?
IMDB, I think, has the later ones when I was like 30.
Let's see.
The
Oh!
urban. There you go. The urban.
Breaking fucking Bad, brother.
Oh, Jesse. Yeah.
Little Aaron Paul. There he is. Oh, come on. I just saw you in Westworld fucking last night, motherfucker.
There's the guiding light shot there.
Fucking hell, man. I think that we may have as a wrestling podcast the most IMDb credits in a combo. What do you have? Like 100? At least I looked today. You had like 123. Look at this guy. Pull him up here.
They probably don't have all of them because I did like 30 episodes of Sex in the City, and I can't imagine that.
119. I mean, look at this fucking guy, huh? Look at this fucking guy. Director.
I know what those are. Oh, open that. It's embarrassing. There it is. Ring roasts 1, 2, and 3. The roast of the Iron Sheik, the roast of Jim Cornette, and the roast of Terry Funk.
I don't know why we fucking had it. We could have just left it as it was, but
yeah. Peel back the layers.
Yeah.
No, listen, I have some self-respect. If you click that 119, there's some Oscar-nominated and Oscar-winning films up there.
Yeah, let's go down and look at a couple of them here. Billions, the television show.
Yes, I did a few Billions.
Blue Bloods.
Did a few Blue Bloods.
28 episodes. And
That's wrong. Does it say 20?
28.
28. Yeah, no, I did like 4 or 5 probably. That's
Actually, explain to them what an ADR loop is.
Okay, so many times when you're shooting, you can't have all of the dialogue that you need for a scene. For example, if Kevin and I are shooting a scene in a bar, all the people behind the principal actors, they're not really talking in the bar. You couldn't edit the sound if all those extras were talking. So they're miming. They're going like this. But eventually you have to add voices to those. So you have to have an actor come in and add voice to the scene. That's probably the toughest part of looping is they show you a bar scene and they're like, all right, Sean, take that guy in the red shirt behind Nash. And Steve, you can be that guy in the tie in the back over there. And they show you the scene once. And it's the best improv class in the world because then you got to get up. And just by looking at the person's face, mannerisms, talk, put dialogue in their mouth based on what you think they would be talking about at that table. You have 8 or 10 actors do that. You play it in a low bed under the 2 principal actors. You have your bar scene. I worked on Sex and the City for 4.5 years, and there were so many club scenes, and there were only a handful of us they'd bring in at one time, maybe 6 actors. And we would have to do like raucous club type hoots and hollers about 4 or 5 times. They would layer that on top of in the different tracks of sound, and that would be the whole club. So 6 of us.
I got a question for you now. So because I know the answer, and I think this is a great story. But tell me about there's a particular ADR that you did for Chris North when he was making love to Carrie.
Oh, for Big, yeah.
Yeah, for Big.
There's a scene. They come in the door. I don't remember the episode, but they come in the door and he just kind of like throws her up against the wall and they bounce their way into the bedroom or whatever. But on set, he was like just doing this guttural growling. It sounded like he was tearing her apart. So they had me do a much more toned down Mr. Big fucking Carrie. And I also did, another one that kind of stands out on that show. There was a character, Mr. Pussy, on one episode for his cunnilingus skills. And I was the slurps as he went down, on, no pun intended, under the sheets on, I think it was on Charlotte, the brunette. So I had to add the slurps.
So in any of these, did you actually get like penetration in the actress?
Well, one time I was bent over doing a scene, and I didn't. The engineer had gotten a little excited in the booth and ran in and plowed me from behind while I was doing. But that was the only. Time.
Let me guess. That was probably the summer of '92.
that was in the summer of '92. I'm going to come out with that for the first time.
Yeah,
I like that.
I think everybody got fucking railed in '92. Just everybody. I talked to 3 guys in my gym the other day. Like, well, listen to your fucking podcast. My uncle fucking Gus fucking rammed me in '92. I'm like, Jesus. So,
but they're still not getting that didn't happen. That was photoshopped.
Dude.
I thought we made that clear. Maybe we didn't make that clear enough.
I don't know what to say. It's like, I just don't know. It's one of those things. It's like, I actually know it's called the Czech Republic.
Right.
It's like it's a fucking bit.
We're ball busters. That's what we're doing
what the
here.
But it doesn't matter because I can say that. I can say that because when it comes down to it, we all fucking know deep down in our souls, Biden's not the president. Trump's still the president. Everyone knows that. That's why he still has the nuclear codes in his house. He's not in any trouble. Oh, you're not supposed to. What are you giving it? Come on. He's the president of the United States. He's got the nuclear football. Come on, Biden, but what's he done? Passed a couple of fucking bills, but he can't get his jacket on because there's a helicopter behind him. Right? And he's got bad rotator cuffs. That's what they came back with. But, okay, enough of that. So
that's what ADR is. They call it a looper. Looping is technically what it's called when you go in and you revoice something.
So I went through all the movies. All right?
Okay.
I went through all the movies, and I saw that the movie Salt with Angelina Jolie. And I just wonder, did you fucking ram her?
That wouldn't tell you even if I did. She was not there the day that I had to play a drowning Russian. That was that. That's what I did for that film.
Did you ram her stunt double?
No, I read that she did all her own stuff on the film.
So if somebody did ram her, it was actually her.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who was
yeah.
she seeing at that time?
They
Was
said it
that
was a
the
stunt double.
Billy Bob, or was she with?
No,
was
this
she with
oh
Mr.
God, when
Mr.
was Salt?
Pitt?
What's the date on Salt?
God, if
I
it
guess-
coincides with Brad Pitt, that means that fucking Anthony Hopkins is just around the corner. Oh fuck! Okay,
how
so
many Hopkins can we get in one night?
I think we've had 3 too many. Oh fuck! It's like Somas. I think we didn't have the Mexican ones. We had the real pharmaceutical ones tonight. So
30, and you've had 34.
yeah,
But
But
for
that-
Salt, I actually had to go in it and I'd stick my head upside down in a tank of water. I played a drowning. They drown the Russian guy at the end. They wrap him in chains and throw him in the water. And there's that overhead shot of him descending in the water and all the bubbles. So they needed that. They put a condom on a handheld mic, brought in a big fish tank. They dropped the mic into the water, and then when they would go live with the mic, I would go in and have to do a. We were trying to determine what the sound of drowning was, because it wouldn't be screaming, because that's an exhale. So
Right.
it had to be this guttural. So it was joyous to take after take.
trying to live as long as possible.
Right.
So let me ask you a question. This is completely just because
Yeah.
you brought up condom. Have you ever in your life put a ribbed condom on inside out for your pleasure?
Maybe accidentally,
Yeah.
but you couldn't roll it on. You couldn't roll it on.
You got to
'cause
you got to roll that. You got to re-roll it. Take it down on your finger. Then re-roll it so the ribs are on you. It's
Yeah.
It's a selfish fucking move, but it's a beautiful thing.
the rib would be on you standing there trying to do that
absolutely.
while she twiddled her thumbs in the bed.
I actually made sure they knew I was doing it because I wanted to be known as a selfish lover. So this is all about me, baby.
That's even when you're interviewing me somehow.
What? So you were, I mean, while you were doing the film work, did you get involved in what was that Wall Street at time also?
Yeah, I was at the same time. I was I was still doing on-camera stuff here and there. You know, when you're a New York actor, you do your obligatory one Law and Order a year, and so in concert with that, I was working on Wall Street first for Bankers Trust. Then we were bought by Deutsche Bank, and then they blew us up on 9/11. We were at 130 Liberty, right across the street from the South Tower. I wasn't in yet at the time, at 8:46 or whatever it was. But so I was in a very cool department. It was artists and artist types that would do the graphics and also the presentations for the rather stiff banking community, and kind of add our flair to their presentations they would have to do, and processing all that stuff. So so I did that for 10 years or so, and I was doing on camera. I started doing the voice stuff. Once I fell into that voice stuff, it was great, because it's the same contract as if you're on camera, but you're in a studio. You're not in makeup in a trailer on location, like it's sub-freezing weather, like your John Wick shoot, being led 11 stories up in a flat in Soho. It was an easier time to do, and you could do because of the anonymity of it, and it was a small community of people who could do that, who could get up, look at a character on screen, and do almost anything they ask you to do. There's even an element to ADR where you have to replace somebody's voice. So I guess Clooney's voice and mine are in the same wheelhouse. So I would occasionally have to lay a little Clooney down. It's much cheaper to bring me in than him.
Right.
There's a line in Stepford Wives, if you pay attention to Christopher Walken and you hear him say, I think the line was, "This'll be good." So I did a walk-in for that film. And who else have I done? When Robert Downey Jr. was in rehab, he did a film with Michael Douglas called Wonder Boys. And I got a call for that because he was in, I don't know if it was rehab or jail. I think he went to jail, right? When he broke into that house. He fell asleep in the bed. I think it was jail. So he wasn't going to be able to do his looping. So I got a call for that. But amazingly, they let him out to do the looping. The fucking guards would walk him in his jumper out, and he would loop the scene and then go back to jail. So I didn't get to do that for him. But yeah, and then I just said that I didn't want to pursue the on camera anymore. It was too heartbreaking at my level. The week, I remember it was in December, the week I said to my manager, that's about it. I booked a Law and Order, and then I booked a new series called Conviction, which was a Dick Wolf series about young DAs in Manhattan. I had a great scene in that. I was a detective, and we were playing a rib on the new young ADA, where I get brought in late at night by another detective, and I'm supposed to be this psychopath that they've been searching for. And the cop pulls a gun and coerces a confession out of me at gunpoint, and I'm freaking out, and the ADA's freaking out because he can't use it anymore. Then I get up, and we introduce ourselves as cops and welcome them to the district, and we leave. Great scene. I had the Law and Order scene was cool. I was a CSI tech, rolling the body, pulling stuff out of the pockets, telling them what I found. And so I shoot Conviction. I get a call from my manager that they rewrote the script for Law and Order, and they're cutting out the rolling the body, so I didn't have to go in for that. And then about a day later, I got the call that that episode of Conviction's running long, so that scene's gone. I said, you know what? I said, Ted, I think maybe don't call me anymore. I'll do the voice stuff, but none of this other shit.
I don't think at any stage in the game does Kevin. They want to check your availability. Okay. Well, what days? This date, this date, this date. Yeah, I'm open. 8 months go by. Hey, did they ever get back? No, they just asked your availability. They wanted to fucking throw a fucking piece of bait out in front of you.
I remember you telling me. Wasn't that like a Marvel thing or something?
Fucking a Deadpool.
Deadpool, yeah.
Yeah, that cable thing, they just kept saying it. They wanted to see your availability. They wanted to see your availability. Because, why? Because fucking, I don't have a shot in hell to get it. You guys want to fuck with me? I love when people say shit like, on Twitter and stuff like, well, you have to be Democratic because that's how it works in Hollywood. I'm fucking 63 years old. I'm on Medicare in a fucking like two more fucking years. The only sweet thing about fucking Screen Actors Guild is the insurance, which after COVID, they fucking did such a tailspin. There's no fucking advantages in having it. I mean, it's just unbelievable. To me, it's just like once they get fucking free health care, fuck, I got enough cash. I'll just fucking get whatever, just pay fucking a couple grand a quarter and have perfect fucking health and don't have to fucking.
Could you put a fucking tape for us and put your phone sideways?
No. I don't want.
Oh, self tapes.
Yeah,
talking about self tapes.
So
yeah,
my agent will always should be like, I'll say I've never gotten a self tape fucking project ever. This is how I get a job. Fucking, they call my agency. Hey, will Nash play this part? Boom, I get it. You either want me or you don't want me. It's not like it's kind of between Will Ferrell and Kevin Nash. It's like nah.
But for anyone that doesn't know, the self-tape thing started during COVID, and I think it's probably going to just be a way to do it now, and it's going to continue, where you have to literally videotape yourself reading the audition. That's one of the things my wife does. She has a theater company for youth, and one of the things she does for some of the actors that work professionally, she'll coach them through their self-tapes. And sometimes they're very specific what they want to see. When you used to go to a casting director's office and you'd sit there, and they would always have a video camera running for your audition, but they're in the room with you.
Well, so they can go, and on top of that, yeah, exactly. You're getting direction.
Correct.
I'm reading for fucking parts, and the guys and the new thing was that they wouldn't give you an actual script that was working. It would be some bogus dialogue and some bogus character. They would just want you to read it, and you would have no reference to who, Guy Gord is and what the fucking planet Zangon. And you're supposed to fucking okay. And my motivation is fucking what? What's my arc? What am I doing here?
Yeah, sometimes you get a little info from your agent, like if they talk to the casting director, but most of the time you're getting sides.
Yep.
And address to send the fucking videotape, the video file.
And to me, it's just like, you know what? Then you got to get somebody to read with you. Somebody's got to read. And they're like, well, one of my clients, what she does is she reads the other part and she puts it on a fucking, a laptop across from hers, and she plays it, and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
That's insane. That's the first time I heard that.
Unless I'm fucking Daniel Day-Lewis's brother and I'm in every fucking scene, no, I ain't doing that. Fuck that. It's just not that important to me. I'll go sign 8x10s.
Yeah, it's even the audition process has become just such a rough, debilitating road now, because part of it is up to the technical savvy of the person auditioning, and that shouldn't be that. Yeah, I know. Yeah,
fuck. Good luck, Nash.
Exactly.
Fuck.
But
here's one for you. I like to bring this up when you're like this is one of those when you're fucking stone type things. Okay, it's 300 years ago. You have the knowledge that you have right now. What the fuck could you invent?
Well, what the hell's available to you 300 years ago? You need the actual materials, or you can have modern materials.
Could you fucking blueprint a combustion engine?
Well, me, no. But
yeah,
300 years. Okay, so
could you do? 17. I mean, light bulb, telephone. Fucking, I mean, I might be able to come up with fire. But that was
they had that in 1722.
Exactly. That's what I said. I fucking light a match. But I'm just saying, like,
the big guy down the block thinks he's invented fire. Don't tell him, he's scary. We went to Ireland, by the way, in 1722.
Yeah. No, but I'm just saying, like, I couldn't invent anything. And then Elon Musk is fucking making supersonic tunnels underneath LA.
Yeah. Need the tunnel to connect the entire globe. That'll come.
Yeah.
There'll be an underground system to get you anywhere.
There's going to have to be.
Kev, it's going to start getting chilly out again. Fall is upon us. And what does that mean? What does that mean to you? What does fall mean to you? Are you a fan of Halloween or something?
That means football season.
That's right, Pat. I'll do the John Madden. We're going to have to find new imitations. People are getting bored of the Jesse. That's right, Pat. I always loved when Madden would call a helmet a hat. Oh, his hat fell off. That was one of the greats. It does mean football, for Christ's sake, and that gets me excited, and it should get all of you excited. If you want a little skin in the game, you can go to DraftKings, baby. It's all about DraftKings, okay? The wait's almost over. Football is here. It's about to begin. DraftKings Sportsbook is an official sports betting partner of the NFL. I know you knew that already, Kevin. And to celebrate the return of football, DraftKings is going crazy, okay? They're giving away to new customers a can't-miss offer. Bet $5 on any game, and you get $200 in free bets instantly. You show me a casino that's going to give you that, Kevin.
Not even Runyons.
No. One $5 bet and 200 beans to bet on any other games. You want more action for opening night? How about this? Everyone can experience the thrill of DraftKings early win promotion. There's a contest called Get Up 7, a promotion called Get Up 7. You bet on any NFL team of your choice. If your team leads by 7 points at any point in the game, you get paid. Even if the team loses, all they have to do is be up 7. Is that insane? How are these guys still in business? This is amazing. You got to take advantage of that. DraftKings is safe, secure, and reliable. Best of all, you can deposit and withdraw your cash whenever you want. I'm going to show you how easy this is right now. Let's go into college here. Let's go into a little college action. And I'm going to bring up my screen. Now, Kev, of course, you were a volunteer, so I'm going to go to Tennessee versus Ball State. Okay, now.
Mac Power.
Well, Tennessee's a large favorite. 33 points they're giving. You think they can cover? I'm going to follow your advice here.
And they're in Knoxville. I'm going to take Ball State and the points.
You're going to take the points. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. You can, as you can see my screen here, you can bet the entire game. You can bet first quarter, second quarter. I'm going to bet the game, okay? I'm going to take Ball State, because that's what Kevin said right there. How much should I wager? Maybe, what do you say, $10, $5, $20? What should I put on it?
$1 million.
That's going to be my prize. Let's drop 5 beans on this game, okay? My payout if they win.
Let's do 5 each, so we'll do 10.
We'll do 10. Very good. Very good here. Okay, you can all see my screen. $10. My potential payout on that is 19. Now, what if I'm not done? What if I want a parlay, as they call it? Parlez-vous. If they want a parlay, same game parlay. Over or under 68, Kevin? Over or under?
Under.
Under. Okay, now I just click. See what I just did? Boom. I click the U68. There it is. Ball State plus 33, under 68. Now I'm going to view my bet slip. How much would I like to put on the over-under? I'm going to put another $10. Now look down in the green. My total payout, if I hit both, is $38.13. I'm wagering 20, and I would win 18, I guess it is. 38-18. Guys, it's that simple. It's all in the app. Football's here. Get ready. Get on board. It's DraftKings. And listen, Kevin, as he does every week, has something special for you guys. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use the promo code TKNP. What the hell is that? The Kevin Nash Podcast. TKNP, the Kevin Nash Podcast, is your promo code. You get $200 in free bets. Bang. Right away, all you got to do is place a $5 bet on any football game. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for more details. Now we're going to have to track this now if we win. 38 beans. What are we going what bottle of wine can we get for $38?
Oh, this is going to be an ongoing thing. We're going to bet all year long.
All right, we're going to give you the Kevin Nash DraftKings pick of the week. How about that?
We'll have a pick every week. And then we'll have, at times they actually will allow like WrestleMania bets on matches, and
there are wrestling components to all these sports books now. It's amazing how far we've come with all that stuff. You don't have to do it behind City Hall on the detectives' entrance staircase anymore. You can go right on your phone. Guys, go to DraftKings.com. Code TKNP, the Kevin Nash Podcast. And let us know how you do on Twitter. We'll read some of your results. Go Balls. Go Ball State. Under.
Go Vols, but
Vols less than 33.
Yeah, Vols less. Yeah, that's a lot of points first game of the year.
It is
with a new quarterback.
Thank you, DraftKings.
I watched the thing last night on the news. They were talking about the extreme drought. That what's happening is, and this is a West Coast deal where. The rain comes in and it causes flash floods, but like in that Sacramento in the valley there, they get snow on the other side of that and those mountains. And what's going to happen is the climate changes, that snow will be water. And I guess in like, God, I want to think it was like 1821. I don't know what the fuck it was. At that point, like maybe 500,000 people lived in that whole region. And now it's like fucking, something astronomical, 22 million or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
And they're saying that in though it's like it would basically be so catastrophic, it would, there'd be like fucking 30 feet of water in that area for like months. So you got that going for you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a pretty place, this planet. We're in a very interesting crossroads.
You've seen like I'm sure you've seen like on different shows like Mark Wahlberg's house. Mark Wahlberg.
What about his house?
You've seen like photographs. He had like the basketball court and shit. With the Celtics. Anyway, I heard that Mark Wahlberg moved to Vegas. He got the fuck out. I don't know if he sold his house, but I know he's got a crib in Vegas. That he's like, I think a lot of people are just, that whole fucking, Los Angeles fucking dreams.
Between the brush fires and those fucking, when those brush fires start, those entire swaths of the city get taken out.
And
horrifying. It's uncontrollable.
Yeah, it used to be like they were saying that these fires now have their own ecosystems. Like they basically they have their their own wind. It's just amazing. It's just there's no turn. I mean, there ain't no turning this shit back.
Did you spend a lot of time in L.A.?
Yeah, enough.
You never lived out there, though, right?
Longest was I was out there maybe 90 days for longest yard.
Okay.
That was about.
Where'd they put you up?
I was at the, what were those places called? Oakwood and Marina Del Rey with Klitschko.
Is that kind of where the studio threw everybody?
I think, yeah.
They have those like corporate housing. What do you call it?
Joey Diaz was there.
Got to get Joey on.
Yeah, we got to get Joey. It's funny that, he was on a couple of, like Joey, myself, it was like maybe Bob Sapp. We all would sit around and we'd talk about this fucking, like this longest yard was going to be, our fucking,
This is going to be the one.
Oh, yeah, this is it, man. We're all going fucking, we're all, Joey and I were going to have a fucking cop detective show. Two fucking cocksuckers. And,
poor cocksucker and fat cocksucker.
Yeah, fucking assholes. But, they, like nothing ever happened, I didn't get another, I mean, I got a couple roles after that, but it was just like, I'm thinking like, fuck, man, I'm going to be turning shit down. Yeah. Yeah.
Let's work on that, the cop show, you and Joe. We call it like Smokey and Edibles.
We could do that.
Work. It would work.
Do you imagine we might be fucking like bad cops? We could bring in
bad meaning working against the law or just completely inept that you fuck everything up.
Both. And have Harvey Keitel as the bad lieutenant. So
he's like your godfather. You go to him for advice.
Yeah.
He's still with us, right, Harvey?
Yeah.
He's alive,
Yeah.
right?
Okay. He's the cleaner in some movie.
Oh, I bet no, he did Lansky. Didn't he do Lansky recently?
I think so.
He played Meyer Lansky.
I think so.
In the streaming version.
That's what I always used to tell people all the time. I said, hey, man, you got any fucking movie roles lately? I'm like, fucking Harvey Keitel's not fucking working, okay? Go fuck yourself.
When it dries up for Harvey.
Yeah.
He was on that 90s run, man. He was on fire.
Everything. Oh.
So, then I get a phone call from my friend Anthony. I'm sitting on the 44th floor of 60 Wall Street in 2006, 7.
Right.
And nothing was going on. It was actually snowing that night, looking out over this East River. And Anthony says to me, he goes, you know, the only thing that's not been done, we were both like cinephiles, like big movie nuts. So we'd have all these laser discs and you know, it had the director's commentary track as an alternate audio source on the disc. He goes, no one's ever done that with wrestling. And we were like marks. And I said, what do you mean? He said, well, no one's ever taken like WrestleMania and you could listen to Hogan talk about his match and, you know, Tito talk about his match and say, oh, you know, we're supposed to go home here and see here. I blew that spot and we had to, you know, take a powder outside and get it back together. I'm like, wow, that's interesting. I was like, could we have like downloadable versions of that, like on an iTunes type thing? Like, he's like, yeah. I said, listen, go figure out the technology of it and hit me back and let me know if this is something we could do. And it was literally born like that. So what we started doing, Kayfabe Commentaries, was so named because our first product was downloadable audio commentaries that you download to your, at the time, iPod. It was before the iPhone.
Right.
And you start the match. We give you the sync point. I couldn't sell you the video because we didn't own the main event of WrestleMania, but you could download our recording of Paul Orndorff. And as he sat next to me on a headphone in a hotel, and we watched the whole match from beginning to end and talked about it in real time. And we told you where to start your iPod when you played the match at home. And it was like you'd be sitting with Orndorff on the couch as he talked to you through the whole match. So he's like, yeah, we could do it. He's like, I could record it. He said, we found this thing where you could buy it online and download it. And I said, perfect. Let me just start calling some wrestlers. A great industry to just walk into, unknown, with the trust of no one. And I got a contact for, I thought what I should do is find guys that were making appearances in our area. So we could basically fuck the promoter and steal them in the middle of the night and get a product on their dime. So we saw the Honky Tonk Man and Greg Valentine were going to be in the area. So I called them. And I pitched the idea. They had no fucking idea what I was talking about. I mean, try to sell the concept of the downloadable audio wrestling commentary track to the Honky Tonk Man at 10:30 at night. But I said, listen, you know, you're in town anyway. I think we paid them $300 and we got a hotel room. And I said, don't tell anybody. You know, I'll call you in the middle of the night once you're in and come down the hall. And that's what we did. We started, we did that. We laid down a bunch of tracks with them. We brought the Iron Sheik in. Harley Race came in and did tracks for us. That's the night he grabbed my balls and crushed a fucking bottle cap with his pinky. And Paul Orndorff. And that was our first product. They were downloadable tracks that you could watch famous matches with the wrestler in your ear.
What was the cost point on that? What were you guys?
We'd pay the talent around $300. You get the room, maybe $150. So it was $450, and we feed them if they were in town early enough. That was always one of our things. We always came at it not like the shoot industry, because I was working on film sets. I knew you needed things to make people comfortable and to make them work. I wanted to feed them if they had time. Go out somewhere, spend some time with them if I'd never met them. Trust was the whole thing, you know, engendering that trust, people to want to talk to you. So, yeah, it was very hard to make any of the money back with these, because these tracks were like, $1.99 each that we were selling the downloads for. So it became very apparent about 6 months in that if this was going to be a self-sustaining business, we had to get into video. There were other shoot companies, but nobody was doing it. Interestingly. So as fans, we were like, what, we can add real production to it, lights, mics, make it look like a show, sound like a show. We'll get music for each one. It ended up being series based. We didn't plan that at first. The first thing we did was guest booker with Kevin Sullivan. And then we were like, oh, we can do multiple guest bookers. And then we were like, oh, we have this U-Shoot idea. So they became series shortly after that. And then I think that industry had been running on very spit and glue type production. So I think when fans saw something they could actually see and hear, and it was formatted, it was written, it was edited, it was tight. So I think that's why it blew up so quickly, was because it was so different than all the other shoot guys.
Yeah, no, yeah, when it was night and day from anybody else that I did once. There were so many times some guy was shooting it on their phone, sitting in a hotel room.
Really?
Yeah, be like, huh.
But I mean, the rawness of it at first was attractive because it was the peek behind the curtain. It was hearing wrestlers talk for 2 hours about something that they were never supposed to speak about.
Right.
So that was the allure. But after 10 years of that, I mean, I knew who trained everybody. I'd heard every first match story from everybody. Where's it going to go here? So let's bring bookers in and have them rebook things they weren't responsible for. The pitch I always told people was like getting the writers of Friends to write an episode of Star Trek, and you film it, see the whole process. And then the U-Shoot stuff. Give fans access. Let them conduct the shoot interview. They want to fucking go hard on somebody, let them shoot on somebody. They want to propose marriage, let them propose marriage. We'll play the video. And just get, the more provocative guys and gals in the business.
I just always loved the fuck, marry, kill.
The F, marry, kill was very popular.
Yes.
All that stuff comes back to haunt me. The Batista's dick and you're the U-Shoot guy. I sat with Bruno Sammartino and did a retrospective of the 60s with him. No, I'm Batista's dick.
Yeah.
11 soft.
Somebody's got to be.
Yeah, somebody's got to be Batista's dick.
Oh, fuck. You've had a good episode. I mean, you've had a good run, man.
It was a good run. I'm ready for the fucking the casket. That'll be my epitaph. The guy that asked about Batista's dick. There's more to come though. This podcast.
Yeah, we got a podcast now.
This is the shit.
Yeah.
The publishing stuff is starting to take off a little bit too.
Oh yeah.
I always pick.
What do you got? Like 9 books now?
Yeah, I have 3 thrillers, 3 books about the wrestling industry, and just co-wrote Todd Gordon's autobiography, which should be out in, they said spring 2024. That seems like a long time, but, and then 2 other thrillers that, I pick all the stable industries that are growing and prospering.
Right.
Books and wrestling interviews.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Elon Musk, I'm not.
You're an artiste.
I'm an artiste.
You're an artiste, my friend. You got some wonderful children.
I do. I have a 16-year-old daughter and a 9-year-old daughter. So I'm an idiot and a hero all in the same day in the same house.
Well, that's if you're God until they hit about 10, and then you're so fucking out of it. Like, I was fucking cool as fuck a minute ago when I was painting that fucking navel on Adam.
I remember hearing Howard Stern talk about that. He was like at his daughter's high school or something. And she was like, "Dad, don't walk like next to me when you're here. I know you have to be here for whatever parent thing, but just like don't." He's like, "Well, I'm cool. I'm cool. You know how many people who want me as a dad, but you're never, when you're the dad,
No,
you're never cool. No matter who you are.
You don't have, the minute you fucking, like the worst thing ever is you have to have your parents take you to like the local carnival. And as soon as you get there, man, it's just like, oh, fuck, man, I just got to get away from them.
I know. I think back to how I was, and I hate it because I know that's what my daughter feels.
My mom used to come and pick me up. I swear to God, I lived 6 blocks from school. I mean, I don't give a fuck if it was a category 3, I could have walked home. And she would pull up and she'd toot the horn and, be like, I just keep walking. She'd be like, get in the goddamn car. Like, nah. You're going to get fucking hit. I'd get home. I'd take the belt over getting a ride home.
Should have told her meet you around the corner or something.
I just think, come on, man, you're killing me. Killing my
We're never cool enough as dads, man. We're never cool enough as dads.
No, but fuck it, man. I'm turning into with it. Somebody said I'm turning into Stockard Channing.
In what way, Rizzo?
I don't know, Diamonds Are Girl. No, Carol Channing. Maybe that's who it was.
Oh, Carol Channing.
Maybe it was
Okay,
Carol
Stockard.
Channing.
Thought in honor of Olivia Newton-John, I thought you put a reference.
That one sucked. Her dying.
Oh yeah, man.
Everybody loved it. You know what? I can't believe like I had like this infatuation with Olivia Newton-John like during Grease. And it like that was like my sophomore year of college. Like I thought I was a kid. I was like, fuck, I was a sophomore in college?
Yeah, 78, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Freshman,
Well,
sophomore.
in that film though, she had at the end she comes out with that slutty thing at the
Yeah,
end,
but the world's flattest fucking ass on top of that. I mean, that's
true.
I mean, it was fucking, I mean, it was just, there was no butt blaster in those days. You couldn't get a girl underneath a squat rack. Now every fucking girl on earth looks like they're fucking from Brazil.
Yeah, the face made up for it though. She was beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
All right, good.
Oh my God, what happened?
We're back.
Did I have a stroke?
The dream sequence is over. The dream sequence where you hijacked me. Listen, Ask Nash, hashtag Ask Nash is what we ask you guys to type so we can find your questions. A very passionate outpouring, as always, for the man with me every week. Big Dan Ness, Kevin, have you ever had any supernatural experiences, ghost, UFO, cryptid, or otherwise?
Yes.
Thanks, the show's amazing.
Yes.
Let's hear it.
It's too long to tell, but I actually did a ghost stories, and I was in the Marriott in LaGuardia, and I woke up and there was like smoke bellowing in the ceiling of my room, and
we were upstairs shooting Marcus Bagwell that night. That's what it was at the LaGuardia. Yeah.
But anyway, like all of a sudden I saw this like metallic figure like in the end of my bed, like an energy source thing. And right before I'd left, my wife, who was pregnant with my son, had like really had an episode where she like beyond spot bled. And I took her to the doctor, and we ended up having to get her a doula and everything else before I'd go on the road. And but anyway, so the next day, and this is still AT&T calling cards and all that, like as soon as this energy left in front of me, I turned the lights on, and there was no smoke, there was no nothing. I was like, what the fuck? So, but I did look at the clock. And then, so I told my wife, and the next day I called when I got to LaGuardia Airport. I said, you're not going to believe what happened. She goes, you're not going to believe what happened. And she basically told me the exact same story at the exact same time happened to her while she was in Arizona.
What do you attribute it to? What do you think?
I think it was my mom saying that my son was going to be okay. My son, when my son went to his, to kindergarten, his first day, he, was kind of terrified, as most kids are, and he came back and he said, I said, how was your day? And his mom asked how his day was, and he said, it's fine, because Bobby's there. And we're like, Bobby? He goes, yeah. He goes, I said, where was Bobby? And he goes, well, when I was walking in, he was on top of the roof. So I asked him a couple more questions. Like, he had a white T-shirt on, jeans, which was my dad's MO when he wasn't at work.
Wow.
So I took because back then, if you were fucking poor, you had black and white senior pictures, the little gimmick ones, whatever the fuck they are, trading card size. So I put a bunch of my friends and their senior pictures, and I put my dad's senior picture from Rouge High, and my son just pointed like this, just went, That's Bob right there. And you're talking about fucking one of those deals where you get that like, so I was just like, okay, so Mom told me that he's gonna make it, and Dad's looking out for him. So,
Wow, that's hot.
yeah. And I'm questioning fucking the naval thing.
Yeah, you better rethink all this before you check out. You better make amends.
I'll ask for forgiveness before I go to bed tonight.
Danielle Halcon, my wife is a wine drinker, and I know Dick. I got to have a PhD in something, I guess. What is a great red wine that would surprise her? We have had the Silver Oak and Rombauer. And what was the issue with 19 Crimes, by the way?
It tastes cheap. I mean, it just doesn't have, I don't know.
Now, the Silver Oak and Rombauer of which he speaks
Rombauer is, if I'm not mistaken, the Rombauer that I've had is a Zinfandel, and it is, I mean, it's very bold. Silver Oak's always a good bottle of wine. Like they'd make a bad bottle of wine.
So what's a good one that he can surprise her with? He only knows Dick, not wine. Try surprising her with your dick, maybe.
I mean,
Bluechew.com.
I don't know what his price range is. You can't go wrong with a bottle of Camus.
Love a Camus.
Yeah.
Cab.
Camus Cab's always great.
2020. Well, no, 2018. So keep them under $50. What can you do under 50? Camus is going to run you about what, 85 down by you?
79.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, 79. Under 50?
Yeah.
I'll tell you a good bottle of wine day in, day out is Franciscan Cabernet. So maybe a $22 bottle of wine. Usually about a
Franciscan. Okay.
Usually between an 88 to 91 rated wine.
Very good. Easy 401. What was the issue with Shane Douglas, Candido, and Bigelow and the Kliq? Did you ever get along with him? Any chance Triple H will have him return for Hall of Fame or no due to bad blood? I guess that's Shane Douglas he's mentioning since the other two are dead.
I never remember having a problem with Shane. I mean, we've worked, since on indies and shit together. So I've always liked Shane.
Is Triple H okay with him? Is this
I don't think Paul had any problem.
Okay. Uncaged Rage. Kevin, many wrestlers throughout their career have used music from licensed artists as intro music. Undertaker used Limp Bizkit, CM Punk used Killswitch Engine, and Triple H always had a Motorhead hard-on. If you were to pick one song per gimmick of yours, what would they be?
Here's one for you. This is the honest to God truth. I actually shot the video for it. When they made me champion, they were gonna have me come out to George Thorogood's "Bad to the Bone," and
that worked.
And they found out it was $100,000, and they said, "Yeah, we'll put a fucking thanks for the push, motherfuckers." Yeah,
that's what that riff would have cost them. $100,000.
Yeah.
Huh? Now, back in the day, they didn't pay for like fucking Another One Bites the Dust for JYD and Eye of the Tiger for Hogan. They just played it, right?
I don't think they could on network. I mean, maybe they did it hot. We used to just bastardize shit. Like me and Scott came out of the Fugees, Ready or Not, for years on house shows.
Right. The house shows are, I guess, a little different.
Yeah, but
you can't broadcast it.
The
Blue Meanie has written us. Remember Meanie?
Yeah.
Hey, Kevin and Sean, love the show. Kevin popped me huge with the Dokken and Rat mentions. Are there any other hair metal era bands that you're into besides Dokken and Rat? I'm jamming out to some Tesla. Keep up the good work. Love you guys.
Oh, hair bands.
Oh, I'll give you them all. I'm of that era.
I mean, I think Judas Priest has got to be in there.
Well, and ironically, he didn't have hair.
Yeah, but I mean,
on his head.
Yeah, but Eddie did.
Eddie,
the fucking monster that was always on the.
Oh, that was Iron Maiden.
No, sorry, that's right. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Iron
Maiden.
I'm sure my Detroit roots.
He had Slaughter, Poison, Warrant.
Does Motley go with that?
Yeah, I guess Motley technically could be considered the hair band era, right? The
I would
LA scene,
actually.
they were part of the
I mean,
Sunset
the
Strip
beginning
scene.
of Bon Jovi they were a hair band, weren't they?
I would consider them that early stuff. Yeah. I actually saw in 1986. I was 12. No, 14, 13. And a friend of mine's sister drove us to see Rat. And the opening act was a local up-and-coming band named Bon Jovi. So
nice.
Saw them before they were corrupted.
I saw the Bob Seger System when I was growing up.
Now, being in Detroit, they had a very healthy music scene. As you may or may not know.
MC5, I think, was the first time somebody said motherfucker on a vinyl.
Oh, really?
You got the jam, motherfuckers! We'd go to somebody's basement and play that 93 times. Yeah, the MC5.
Stephen O'Freddy, who could draw a higher crowd at their current age? Hogan or Flair today?
I think, oh, God, I mean, Hulk's beat the fuck. So.
But just seeing him in person, right? That's the draw.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just, I think, I read a lot of comments on a lot of different things. It's just like, I'm going with the Kenny Rogers on that one. You got to know when to fold him.
You good with Terry?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I wished him happy birthday and he didn't say thanks, but I'm not going to bring that up and fucking on anything live.
Glenn, what are your earliest memories of John Cena? You were on the roster with him back in 02 and 03. Did you have any encounters in the early days?
That prick was hard to beat to the gym, I tell you that, man. I always liked the guys that like he was one of those guys that on a TV day, you'd go in there and he'd be fucking squatting 500 pounds. I'd be like, fuck, man, you got a TV match. But I always liked John. I never have a bad word to say about him. He worked his ass off.
Were you able to see superstardom in him as a young man?
The only thing that, I thought, I thought he had what it took. But one thing, I think we were at, did we run into each other like at the firehouse in Venice, or maybe it was even backstage or something. But I remember when he said to me, he goes, you told me something a long time ago, and I always took heed to it. That when you walk to the ring in a T-shirt, when they would hand out the NWO shirts, like the guys would be like, "Give me a medium," because they'd want it skin fucking tight.
Right.
And I'd always take like a 3X or the biggest I could get. And I told John, I said, and he said, he asked me for advice. He said, always wear a baggy T-shirt, because especially if you're not going to work in it. So when you take it off, there's that fucking like, holy fuck, like that guy's got a good physique. As opposed to fucking
a moment there.
As opposed to fucking having a T-shirt sprayed on you. And John actually, and if you look, throughout his career, he always wore the oversized T-shirt.
That's true.
If that, and I think when you really look at his entire career, that's probably the most important thing is that big T-shirt when it comes down to it.
That was it. Listen, the branding they did with all his fucking shit and the different colors and everything made him a fortune.
Yeah, fuck.
Terriers against Tony Khan. Really enjoying the podcast. What is your all-time dream starting NBA 5? Great question.
All time. I'm going to go Magic at 1.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan. I'm going to go Magic at 1, Kobe at 2, Jordan at 3, and I'm going to go Kareem and Shaq at the blocks.
Kareem over Wilt, over Bill Russell. It's Kareem.
Yeah, Kareem.
Okay. Who are your forwards?
Well, I mean, Kareem would actually be my power forward. Shaq would be my center.
Oh, Shaq would be your center. Okay. And who was your small forward? Kobe? Yeah. No Larry, huh?
No,
Larry Love?
But then actually, when I look at it, because I would go Magic, Kobe, LeBron, and then put Shaq and Jabbar. So
okay.
I'm bringing Jordan off the bench.
Really?
Yeah.
That's outrageous.
It's worth $3 billion. Like, he doesn't need a spot.
He doesn't need a spot. Big Hollywood 6. Come on, Kevin Nash. I live in El Paso City.
Ooh.
Now I'm wondering, as I'm typing this, since I'm a fan / unknown honorary bad guy Kliq band member, what other names did y'all have for the cities you were in?
The greatest of all time was always Tommy Rich. Tommy Rich was Pensacola was Pensacola. Montgomery was Monkey Town. That motherfucker boy. He had them all. That whole.
I was gonna say, do it as time about Monkey Town.
Yeah,
we got to Monkey Town.
I tell you right now, man. You sell out Monkey Town, you done something, man. That motherfucker, that's a hard bill to sell out Monkey Town. If that motherfucker Pensacola, it's just motherfucker rocks.
People love a little Tommy, don't they?
Fuck yeah.
You know, I'm looking at the fucking boot. We didn't do the Bunkhouse Stampede. We did do Bunkhouse Buck.
Which, I mean, that is a treasure in its own.
I guess, right? I mean, as a consolation, guys, I know you guys are going to be pissed off again, but you at least got Bunkhouse something.
Plus,
next week, Bunkhouse Stampede.
And Jericho Hardway in his last match. So we got that.
I think he hardwayed on his last podcast, which gave him a little bump.
I love Chris. You see his fucking feet on Instagram? What was that all? I got to talk. Yeah, he's like missing a toenail. I put on his thing. I said, "What did you do? Run the Ironman asphalt fucking 30K?" His feet are so. You got to go on his Instagram and look at his feet.
No, thank you. Kliq This is a production of Butch and Sundance Media, produced in association with Podcast T. Producer Steve Kaufman. Graphics by Dominic D'Angelo. Title sequence by Wesley Burleson. Theme song by Dale Oliver. Technical research by Tristan Nash. Copyright 2022. Butch and Sundance Media. Kev? You want to do another?
Fuck yeah.